Ready, set, go. Welcome back to Learning Curves. I'm Anastasia, and thready or not, here we go. Today, we are gonna ease into learning how to sew by talking about thread. Anytime you are using a sewing machine, you're going to have thread in your machine in two places. You're gonna have the spool at the top. I think it's always at the top. And then you're gonna have your bobbin at the bottom. Just like I don't know entirely how a car works, I've got an idea, but like not a great one. It's similar with a sewing machine. I know enough to operate one, but I don't fully appreciate all of the magic that happens. I know that there is a needle that comes down with the thread from your spool into the bobbins area, and then something in there crosses over and grabs, and then your thread comes up and that's a stitch. Your needle comes up and that's a stitch, and then it does it again. And it keeps going, and that's how you stitch your lines. Again, I don't know how this thing totally happens. I just know that I can't even like do it with my arms. I just know that it does work. For most projects, I recommend getting all-purpose thread. It can be really important to know the material of the thread that you're using, whether it's polyester, cotton, natural fiber, or synthetic. For instance, if you're making something that's going to be microwaved, like a hand warmer, you're going to want to use natural fabrics, because if you use polyester or synthetic fabrics, they could potentially melt in your microwave, which you don't want, unless you do want. I don't know why you'd want that. We don't want that. But I think if you have black and white thread, you'll be fine, like for starting. And eventually you might want to have lots of colors. Also, the spool thread and the bobbin thread can be different colors, so that the thread across the top is one color and the thread across the bottom is another color. You might see some of each of them depending on how your tension is adjusted and the materials and all that business. We will get into all of this, but it can be a fun thing to do, to use two different thread colors. And you do need one bobbin per color you're using. You will want to make sure you're using the correct bobbin for your machine. Look at how those bobbins have different widths. You can see from the bobbin width that's consistent on most of these what size bobbin my machine takes. So whatever machine you're using, find the model number on it, and then do some Googling, find that bobbin online, get you at least one. Although I don't think they only ever come in just like a one pack. I just picked up this refill thing from Joann's. Class 15 box of bobbins. The actual size of the spool up top can vary greatly. That's fine. You don't have to have an identical spool size. Something that your machine will do is, if you thread it properly, which we'll talk about, the machine itself will monitor the tension on that thread, and it takes a lot of the guesswork out. So it's okay if your machine, if you're using a bigger spool. In fact, I've even used this guy on some projects, but that's a big pain, and I don't recommend it unless you're using an industrial sewing machine or an overlock or serger. So that's it. That's an intro to thread for sewing machines. I hope you found this informative. If you have any questions, please put them in the description box. Nope, you can't do that. Put them in the comments section, and I'm happy to answer those. I'm new to teaching how to sew, just like you're new to learning how to sew, so please tell me what information you're missing. No such thing as a bad question, unless it's offensive. To continue to follow along on this journey and make sure you don't miss anything, please subscribe. If you like this video, please like this video, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Are you ready? Are you thready? Thready or not? Here. Thread level midnight.